to return. Israel will not allow this to continue. Our objective is very clear. We will restore security to our northern border and we will bring our people home. It is our responsibility. The goal of returning our displaced citizens has been formally included in the objectives of this war. We will do whatever it takes to achieve this, and will not allow Hezbollah's terror to dictate the future of our nation. If Hezbollah does not retreat from our border and back to the north of the Litani River through diplomatic efforts, Israel will be left with no choice but to use any means within our rights to defend our citizens and enable the evacuees of the north to return to their homes. Hezbollah has turned south.
All right. I'm going to try to do something I didn't want to know I was going to do. I was going to say, I want to feel it. I don't know. I'm just bored. But you know what? Confident as I am in my ability to perform today, all right? I shared my time this morning with my sitting here on Facebook and looking at YouTube and sharing music and trying to be refraining from my experience from prior to opening my mouth this morning or opening my camera phone or anything to suggest I'm sharing with my public Facebook profile. I had to watch TV, from last night to fall asleep through the day. All the time now, the news is around me. I'm on some kind of a manner of knowing right from wrong. It seems like I know who I am and what I'm doing in the middle of a street in a town I'm not from, in an apartment by myself, 24 hours a day. And I'm starting to realize to myself that I can't. No man is an island and he can't exist alone. What I want to say is what's going to sound funny to me too is that I wanted to talk plain English in plain view. Okay, so number one, be honest. Be honest. Are you against Israel or are you going to save their lives if they were here today to say, I care about you when we don't know too many people from Israel, but yet we want to say it's the right thing to do? What is your motivation for anti-Semitism and the idea of saving Jerusalem and keeping it out of the Muslims' clutch? Really, which is what's going on. There's no excuse on earth why Muslims are in charge of anything at all, ever. You know this, right? It's not my Nazi mentality, okay? It's going to be the fact of life that the degenerate, malformed, malfeasant, evil axis of powers and influence since I've been walking around as a grown man, since I came out of the goddamn army in the United States in 1991 at 21 years old. I've watched President George Bush Sr. with his fucking family and everybody making a fucking mockery of the goddamn street corner that I grew up on and everybody's fucking family that came from my side of the world during my time. Watching your money make sense to the bank people who make the business in the little towns and everybody taking over. It's a corporate manufactured experience to be here for over 40 years on the United States ground as a natural born citizen who went through the academic system and wanted to be something here. The extinguishment of the human being is my concept, and the culling of these son of a bitching cartels that are running around in plain view from Mexico, Venezuela, the third world. Here's what I want to say, and I'm very upset. I have made a hard change of heart in my heart in Jesus Christ's holy name, that I believe in myself and my baptism and my sacramental experience to hope to die safely. It's got something to do with Russia. And I think the psychopathic nature of man is starting to show more than anything else, that this is a lustful survival skill. or else you'd all be monks dead in the street crying that our kids are being raped and fucking not fed every day. Here's what I want to know. Why we're still fighting each other over the color of our popsicle sticks. Well, I got an idea. Some of you people will never end your hateful lust, bloodlust consideration that you're the only human beings that don't have a, what? We don't have a right to exist, right? But you do. Is that what you're saying? Here's what I want to know as a victim of my fate, that I had to show up and know you actually do this shit on Earth in my lifetime, since I've been an internet person, watching the internet from 2005, say. I was born in 1969. I never dreamed in my experience in my entirety of my normal life, up until it changed and was never able to come back post 9/11, 2001, which is a fact of my natural experience, that I can designate that as a heartfelt sentiment, that the United States has been sold over since 2001, 9/11. And the fact of the matter is, it's not going to stop. It's an international conglomeration of cartel cooperative affiliation, contractually speaking, in pacts. Now, I understand pain and suffering, but I don't understand the fact of life that it's all over the line of basic natural order and quality to save the basic population, recognizing it needs to procreate and save the people who are here responsibly, not illicitly. Now, my call to arms is very emotional, inspired, being that my son and I are victimized over the last 10 years of this country, United States, Florida, New York. And in my way, I could say Massachusetts and Colorado too, that I was there. This is not a news flash, and I'm not trying to go blind staring at the flash of my camera, leaning over my guts after I just had my little glass of milk and chocolate. It's going to make me burp chocolatey. I got a very good feeling on being alive with human beings. I don't feel prejudice. I kiss babies and want to feed everybody's family. But that's what everybody else wants to do with my family and those around me. In the last 48 hours, 5 days, I've noticed a whittling of my ability to take the stress of watching television, and I shut it off often as soon as I can lay down and go to sleep all day long if I got to take 15 minutes at a time and take a nap. I strip down, I take everything off, I go under my blanket. I had this one beautiful blanket on my bed that I have a bed now. I haven't had a bed for years. And I try real hard to let my son be in jail, to let the world burn, that these Muslims want to murder me. There's blacks with guns and knives, and they kill you on the spot. They want to steal your cars. Everything's gone. And they don't care about you. And I live in a black neighborhood where it's a quiet neighborhood. It's a nice neighborhood. That it's calming down, but it was starting out and still has sporadic, unreasonable, irrational adults acting out in public that are threatening. And they're all black. And the other thing is, I'm not funny about this. It's the reality I face, that I'm in an isolation based on my location and my consensus population standards, norms, and community right to be here under my income. Nobody cares about me, and I don't drive anywhere, and that's the way it's going to be. So the flash on my camera is the only activity I'm going to get to stress out today. And the camera television show that I'm watching on every opportunity to get away from it. I don't want to be here. I want to create a reality that's a little more supportive in nature to a normal reality. I want a woman. I want compassionate people, and I want to feel the compassion on my skin and the air around me move from people talking. This is so evil in the sentiment of how many decades I've cried the blues and watched this country burn the same way over and over again, only hotter and filthier, more in my face, especially with the gangs and the adult blacks and everybody walking around in plain view, walking around. That you can act any way you want, but you can't act like me. I got to act like you. If I don't do it, I'm going to get my ass beat. One of these damn days, I'm going to knock somebody's mother face off. Mother's face off. I'm going to bleed your mother's face off. You better have more of your mother than you when I meet you. I don't give a rat's ass what color you thought you were, your nomenclature, your shoe size. You pull that shit on me, and again, ever. And you're doing it every day as soon as I dream that I woke up for 10 minutes intervals before I go back to sleep or make something to eat and walk past the camera of a television or something bullshit now. There ain't nobody here. It's the world for what it is. I asked real hard to share my quality, to start developing a physicality and not be considered malformed and malfeasant and deviant and derelict. I find my generation neglectful and a crime against humanity in the cultural norms that you've deformed itself to degenerate into the manner in which you perpetuate culture and conduct. You're communist and you're colored. And if you're not colored, you're like the Australian Prime Minister right now, lying to everybody's face with your little bald head and those white people with no hair. Your shiny bald heads, you're like Aryans. You know that, right? You look the same. You're all cattle. You're all cattle. We're all cattle to each other. Remember that. You think I'm too short and Mediterranean and I got a Hispanic sounding name? You don't want to know me? I'm not white enough for you? How about that part of the reality of the situation for 40 fucking years of watching the United States ignore me and not hire me or tell me that I was viable or intelligent or sensitive or worthy of love? What you're doing to my son and I is torturous and tormentful. And if it comes down to it, when I stare at this flash of the camera that I can get closer with my magnifying glasses on right now, at some point I'm going to have internet glasses. I'm going to start camera taking pictures out of my glasses, right? And when I do, I'm going to prove to you that I could scare you right back in that friggin' flash before you throw me off and tell me I got to look away. I want the United Nations and swallow it. We're all done being told that that's considered humanitarian aid and fervor. United Nations are terrorists, just like abortionists and Islamophomo-fascists. Your Islamofascism is over. I wish I could murder the 5 million billion of you that I could take you out of the goddamn world in one Viper virus. God darn you, I wish God let me have that power to just destroy everything that resembled Nazism and Islam. And black, symphonic, sycophantic, fantastics. They got fantasies of what humanity is based on our dead man's bones of white culture that they ignore and mutilate and destroy and murder to be psychos with wigs in their hair and everything. They're psychos. They're just going through a terrible transitional phase of, they used to be cannibals. Now they want to be Georgie girls, but they don't want to be white. They want to call the white people who inspired them the mother of invention, right? We're the white devils. Give us a break. I hate you more than you'll ever know what you thought you hated anything else as ever. You're psychopathic, you're murderous, and you're fucking never coming to my place. Never coming to my place, into my family. And you'll never be on my couch in my family at my kitchen table. Never. Not as that, not with that shit on you. That evil shit, that scumbag, evil, malfeasant, deformed, people that you call the citizenry of the United States around the world over the facts that they want to be violent, vulgar. They have no respect for people. They have no sanctity to life. They want nothing. They don't want to give us nothing. They just want to eat it. They can't fuck it. They can't mutilate it. They're going to kill it. It's got nothing to do with drugs. It's got something to do with looking at the president of Mexico, Venezuela, Brazil, Vladimir Putin. What the hell are you doing? I think we are a fucking psycho mutt. I think you're a psycho mutt. If it come down to me and my family too, murder me. Threaten to murder me again, you motherfucker. Slavonic cocksucking motherfucker. Threaten me again with my goddamn son in jail on the goddamn face of the... Fucking do it again. Keep doing it. I can't get enough.